Well, good morning. Old Jack here. So I got a shout out from Robert in the comments section about chest development out there on the grinder. Now, being a bodyweight forum, I'm going to cover bodyweight forms of training the chest. I want to point out though, it doesn't matter whether I'm using weights or I'm using body weight to train a muscle. The muscle doesn't know the difference and the muscle doesn't care. All it knows is that it's getting resistance. That being said, today on the grinder, we're going to cover the push-up. Now, there are various kinds of push-ups, many different kinds of push-ups, and they all have a value for a specific purpose. However, I'm only going to cover three main types today. Now, we want to make sure that we cover the middle of the chest, the upper part of the chest, and underneath the lower part of the chest to get proper development. So we're going to cover those three areas. And I'm going to cover the flat push-up, I'm going to cover the decline push-up, and I'm going to cover the pseudo-planche push-up, and I'm going to throw dips in there for a specific reason that you'll see later on. So what do you say we head out there on the grinder right now and take a look at these? All right, we're back. So we're going to start on the flat push-up. The flat push-up will work the middle part of the chest. Now, when I do the flat push-up, I like to use the perfect push-ups or yoga blocks. I like to get that deeper stretch in the muscle or that further range of motion in the muscle as opposed to just putting my palms flat on the floor. Let's take a look. For those of you who don't know, these are perfect push-ups. You can get them for about $20 in an average sports store, Walmart, what have you. All right. I like to keep my elbows a little closer to my ribs. Too far out puts a lot of stress on the shoulder joints. So about shoulder width apart, right here. Full range of motion. All the way down, all the way up, down, up. My back is straight, should be like a plank. I can also use yoga blocks for this. Simple yoga blocks accomplish the same goal. They give me more range of motion in my push-up. That'll hit the middle part of the chest. What about the upper part? Decline. Now you don't want to go too high with your feet on the decline push-up. If you do that, you'll start getting more of the shoulder instead of the chest. So higher is not better. I would say about 18 inches at best is the most I would go. I still use the perfect push-up or the yoga block for that range of motion. Finally, I want to get the under part of the chest. You can use the planche push-up, or if you're able to do them, you can use the dip. Okay, I did call it a planche push-up. Planche push-ups, your feet don't even touch the floor. You're bouncing on your hands. It is a pseudo-planche is the correct name for it. So your feet are actually on the floor. In this push-up, I keep my hands below the chest. My back is still straight. I don't use the yoga block or the perfect push-up for those. Finally, if you can do them, we have dips. Now, as you'll be able to see with the dip, as I do dips, you can actually watch how the lower part of the chest is actually worked in this exercise. I put a little bit of a forward lean into it, not too far, so I can actually engage those muscles in the chest. Now, if you're a beginner, you may not even be able to do them on the balls of your feet. You may have to go to your knees. You can do all the same exercises on your knees. Flat push-up. Decline. And planche. Now, what about if I'm advanced? What if it gets too easy for me? How can I go about making the exercise harder? One way is adding time under tension, meaning you slow your pace. So just using the flat push-up as an example, instead of knocking them out quickly, not putting much time under tension on that muscle, I take my time. I can do that with all three, and it doesn't matter which exercise, and it just doesn't matter how long you hold it. If you make it time under tension longer, you're going to get more of an effect. That'll develop you more. Another thing you can do is add weight. I like to use my weight vest for these. Now this here is a 20-pound weight vest. I'm sorry, this is 25. I can take some weights out, make it 20, 15, 10, 5, whatever. This is a V-Force. Doesn't matter what brand you get. The muscles don't care. Weight's the same. So again, just demonstrating the flat, but this can be done with all three, to include the dips. Now when I'm using a weight vest, I particularly like the perfect push-up or the yoga blocks, because that vest takes up a lot more space. And if my palms are flat on the floor, I'm only getting, I feel like, half push-ups. But if I use yoga blocks or the perfect push-ups, I get a much better stretch. So how many of these do I do? How many sets? It depends on what your goals are. It depends on your time frame. However, I usually can do anywhere between 3 sets all the way up to 20 sets, like if I'm doing a Murph. The point is, you want to go to muscular fatigue on each set. Now, I talked about fatigue versus failure in another video, and you want to take a look at that to understand more of the idea of going to fatigue or to failure and what that means. However, I would say that you go until you can't do another rep without losing good form. After you've completed a set and it's all to good form and you're fatigued, you can rest maybe 2 minutes. Some people, depending on their level, may rest 3. You want to get the volume in there, but not too, you don't want to get to the point where you're spending all day on it. So you'll find your place. Work the fatigue, work how many ever sets you need, and you will start developing. Other things that you can do, just as a side note, are other techniques like drop sets, where you only rest maybe 10 seconds and then hit it again and get as many as you can. And that also adds more, another nuance to the growth factor. So you can just try all these different techniques, but basically work the middle, upper, and lower. And you want to make sure you use something to give you a good range of motion. And you want to have an all-around good chest program to get yourself going. And you can go from beginner all the way to intermediate and to advanced. Okay? So get on out there, get on your grinder, and get it done. Old Jack out, hang tough.